Hey fam, welcome to the Beatdown. It is Monday morning. This is how we get our week started off, right? My name is Brew. This is the Badger. Bro, I guess I should say it to this audience since we said it yesterday to our other one. Happy New Year.
Man, damn all that. I hope they tuned in on Sunday because that was the last bit of righteousness they was gonna got me for all of 2021. Man,
Lord.
we back in real form today. We ain't here for none of that BS. Man, we got some great stuff to talk about on this show. We may have something going on today, but that's not my business. I'll let you run that. But I'm here, therapy, first day of New Year. Well, not first day of New Year, first Monday of the New Year. First day of real therapy for us. It was therapeutic the last half of the year 2020. We gonna need more than that this year. So I'm here for it, brother. I'm ready to get started. What we got?
We'll see y'all right on the other side. We got a special guest. This gonna be a good show. Welcome to the Beatdown.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, batten down the hatches. We'd like to introduce you to the greatest combat sports show bar none. You are now in the Beatdown.
You wanna get beat down?
Let us now introduce you to your host, the Badger, and
Okay, I'll just making sure you put another shirt on because I ain't want you like flexing for our guest or nothing. Because I know how you try to get. So that's why we came to
Oh
the
boy,
2 p.m.
listen,
show.
listen, boy. Let me tell you something. Boy, I really wanted to say something to you just then, but I need to hold a ratchet in right now because we got a special guest, and I don't want to sully this interview with my pigness, with my toxic masculinity. So, how about we introduce our guest?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, let me introduce you to the Queen of St. Pete, Noemi No BOSQUES. Welcome to the show.
What's
Oh
going
no,
on,
no,
everybody?
no. I didn't see them punches coming. Oh my goodness. Thank you,
You got to
champ.
get it together, bro. You can't get like this when a pretty woman get on camera. You can't start acting like you don't know how to control yourself, bro. Get it together.
Listen, he went out and bought a brand new hat and even brushed his teeth today. So this must be a special show.
That's what I'm talking about.
See?
I do what I can. However I can do it, I do it.
Wow. Look, I've been we've been doing this show for 5 years. And I'm so glad we were actually able to get the timing right and get you on this show. You were one of the first guests we actually sought after for an interview. So thank you for coming on and giving us that opportunity.
Heck yeah, absolutely. It's my pleasure, man.
So before he starts asking you crazy questions and you get upset and leave the show, any shout outs you want to give before?
Shout out to the entire team. No, man. There's a whole bunch of y'all out there supporting me through my wins, through my losses. It doesn't matter. Y'all are there cheering Team No, and I love y'all.
Hey, shout out to Team No from Fighter Share
Team
Nation.
No.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I'm gonna jump right in. Um, what called you to the sport of boxing?
Well, now it's just a part of my whole life. I mean, I've done it for so long, and I love it so much. I mean, I've met so many great people. I've traveled to so many countries and so many cities. The experience behind boxing, not just the fight, because the fight is a very small amount of the whole experience, but just everything that surrounds it, man, is just so beautiful. It's amazing to me how a sport that is so violent can be so beautiful to me, and I just love it. I'm drawn to it. Even when I'm done fighting, I'll be working as a cut woman still. I really enjoy being a part of all that. So, I mean, it's just pure love, man. Love at first sight.
Awesome, awesome. And we can tell you're in the gym now because we can hear people jumping in the background.
Ding, ding, ding.
So, Champ, I mean, you've been doing this for a while. You travel, like you say, you travel the world. We're gonna talk about that too, because I know you got some crazy stories. But just for the sake of being a young woman getting started in boxing, here in Florida is a little different than starting in other places because our boxing culture, our boxing tradition doesn't run as long as some places. So I'm sure sometimes you may have been the only woman in the gym. When you went to a lot of these gyms, were you treated as just another fighter, or sometimes did you really have to straighten some guys out?
I've had a little bit of both. I've had like the gyms that know who I am and that have seen me work, they're always showing super respect, especially because I've been in it so long already, but a lot of places that don't know me and they see this little old, 115-pound girl walk in and really start smashing the bag, they're like, wait, who is this? Who is this chick? And they're just kind of wondering then.
Okay. What would you say has been your worst experience in boxing?
Oh man. I've had a few of them. Of course, my first loss was probably one of my worst experiences. I mean, now I've kind of learned how to lose a little bit more gracefully. Because in the sport of boxing, I mean, there's only one Mayweather. A lot of us have wins, a lot of us have losses, especially those of us who are willing to fight anybody. A lot of other fighters would have a uglier record if everybody was willing to fight anybody on some real warrior-ish. But my first loss versus Kenya Enriquez was on the year anniversary of my mama's death. She had passed away a year before. So that was a tough one to swallow. It was my first loss. I was like 8-0 already, and I lost to her, and I was mourning my mother still. So that was definitely the hardest loss and the hardest part I've had to face throughout this career.
So you actually just walked me right into my next question, champ. We've been knowing you for quite some time. I remember the first time we saw you at Bulldog Boxing, and we've kind of been seeing you move around here and there. I remember when you started with Coach Sherman. Now you've been with Tony Morgan for quite some time, and you've amassed a lot of experience. But one thing that we don't think about enough is what it's like to be a woman in boxing, but more importantly, a mother. You have a beautiful daughter that I follow you on social media. I know she's a great track athlete. Can you just give us a little bit of insight into what being a mother is like while still being an active fighter?
Yeah, sometimes it's a really great thing because, especially having her, of course, it helps me to have a daughter like her because she's always been there. She wants to be a part of it. She's not, she's so low key, and on top of it, she's also an athlete now. She runs track. She likes to play women's football. So the older she gets, the more we're able to bond and kind of understand each other. And I mean, it's working. I got really lucky to have a great girl. If she would have been anything like I was at her age, then it wouldn't have been so easy. But she's a straight A student, so that helps me stay focused on the things I need to, and she's able to focus on what she's got to. So it's almost like I say growing up together because I still feel like I'm young, even though I'm in my 30s already. But it feels like we're growing up together. She's learning a lot of things. I'm learning a lot of things. We're both in our sport. We're both focused. So I mean, I'm fortunate, man. I'm fortunate and blessed to have a great kid to be my team. She's my team.
Awesome. Now, if you can look back at a 14-year-old Noemi, what advice would you give her with the life that you lived?
Leave those boys alone. Leave those boys alone and say no to drugs.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Hey, and that's listen, and we laughing, but that's some real deal advice because we all know that those two things for most young people is where they tend to fall off the horse, and they spend so many years trying to recover for those mistakes. So I'm right there with you, champ. I co-signed at 1,000%.
Yeah, for sure. It wasn't, at that age, you're not really even thinking about it. You're just kind of flowing. You're being young, you're just having a good time, but you don't realize it just kind of sneaks up on you. And all of a sudden, you're an adult with this lifestyle that wasn't really a good preparation for what you're trying to do in your 30s. So it kind of holds you back a little bit, but we don't realize at such a young age.
We've all been down that road. Trust me. um, Going forward, what's next for you in the ring?
Well, right now it's kind of slow. I'm not gonna lie to you, just because of COVID and all that. I mean, I've had several contracts signed, and almost all of those fights have fallen off because of promotional issues and whatnot. We were supposed to fight former Olympian Marlon Esparza a couple times. We signed a
Mm.
couple contracts, and then last minute it just ended up not happening. So who's to say, man? But until then, I'm in the gym. I'm staying ready because a lot of times these opportunities will come on a 2 week notice. And even though I call them monsters, they're only opportunities against monsters. I don't like to say no. And I like to at least be in shape to be able to go 6 or 8 rounds, with anybody at that matter. The win might not, happen a lot of times. Last minute fight against like a former Olympian, but I don't care. I'm a real warrior, man. I want to say yes and I want to be ready to go. So we're just staying ready.
Man, that takes a lot of ovaries there, champ, and I commend you on that. I hope and I wish that
He
a
just
lot
said,
more people would take that warrior mentality. I mean, I think the business of boxing sometimes gets in the way more than we would like to think, but we also know we see proof that a lot of these guys just kind of don't really want that smoke. So if we have more guys to act like the warrior like you, we get better fights. I want to go back to another question I wanted to lead into that after the motherhood question I asked you. They talk about equal pay, equal compensation for women, right? But one of the
Yeah.
things that people say is that women don't sell, right? There's just not a market for that. I find it hard to believe because I think that women, by and large, do most of the influencing. Have you ever had a problem with trying to make yourself more marketable or more appealing and found that maybe that some of the things that you probably thought you should do that you probably didn't do? And what I mean by
Uh,
that is could be like, maybe some type of photo shoot, maybe a certain type of interview on a certain platform, just things like that.
I feel like, well, at least when I first started in the game of boxing, now my mentality is it has matured some. But when I first started boxing, I had the mindset where, like you said, women aren't a big draw. A lot of guys aren't really interested in watching two girls beat the crap out of each other. They're not really interested in that. So I started using more of the sex sells. I started doing the sexy photo shoots and things like that. And what I should have done was, okay, yeah, do that, but still focus just as hard on the game, on the actual boxing and the actual fight. And now, almost 10 years into the game, is where I'm really kind of trying to tighten up and not worry so much about the photo shoots. Like, it is what it is, but I need to work more. I kind of started backwards. Now I'm really paying attention to more of the technique. I think women right now are getting a much bigger platform. For example, Golden Boy is putting them more on the cards. You've got different promoters that are really starting to pay attention. Mayweather, the one in New York, Heather Hardy's got a few girls now. So I mean, it's coming up right now. It's a slow development, but little by little, they're focusing more on the skill, and it's not so much just the sex that you have to sell.
well, it's interesting that you say that because unfortunately, when you look at, um, I'm not going to say American sport, but I am going to say the American media. It does tend to draw a sex symbol out of any type of sport, and especially when you look at women's professional football, because I know you said your daughter does that as well. Um, and when you look at like the Hooters football league, I think that's what it's called. Um,
And you got the lingerie
that's
football
it.
league also.
Right. Do you? Trying to ask this question correctly. Do you think it diminishes the overall skill, talent, and ability of women to make them have to be sexy to be successful?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because a lot of times people don't take the time to pay attention so much to the skill. They're more worried they're more concerned with the other factors, like how she dresses and the sex selling and all that. So it had, for example, women like me, instead of focusing on like the skill, just worried about looking good in a photo shoot or a video shoot and things like that. So now I feel like it's kind of changing slowly, But I mean, I believe like it's something that's gonna be stuck for a while. Reality is a lot of people don't want to see two women in there beating the shit out of each other. You know, it's just not attractive. Like a women's, even though there's a lot of us that are hard and tough and can really do some things, that's not what we represent to a lot of people, and they're not comfortable with seeing that part. You know.
Would you endorse your daughter if she wanted to go into the fight business?
I'll endorse whatever she wants to do because I realize at this age that wherever your passion is, it doesn't matter who understands it, and it's not your job to try to convince them that it's your passion. You know, you just that's going to be what takes you places. That's what's going to take you all over the world. Whatever it is, if there's passion involved, that's what you should do because that in my the way I see it is kind of like God behind you. That passion that you're feeling, that's kind of like what everybody else would call God, you know? So you should go with it and you're going to be all right.
Okay.
So, Champ, now to transition more into the in ring stuff for me, you've been in the ring with two phenomenal fighters that most of us probably should know, and that's Heather Hardy twice. And then you were just in with Suleiman Rabino. You talked about getting in with Marlena Esperanza, another Olympian. Listen, you running a murderer's row here. What was it like preparing for those two fights with those two women in particular?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
What was it like preparing for Heather Hardy and Suleiman Rabino when you fought those two women?
It definitely it wasn't something I was expecting to do, I guess, so much when I first started boxing because I mean, those girls, they've had names for a long time, and then you have a little girl like me from St. Petersburg, Florida, that didn't go to the Olympics, that didn't go, you know, win a national, and I had never won a national tournament. I competed at a few, but I didn't have that title. So, I mean, I felt honored in one sense because I've been watching them for a long time, and in another sense, I was like, oh shit, like I don't even have that kind of sparring. You know, like
Right.
how do you prepare for it? But you know, that's where that warrior mindset kind of comes in. You're like, you know what, it is what it is. I'm here to fight. I'm gonna lose. I'm here to fight. Give the fans what they want. And that's what we do every single fight.
Got you. Now, since you're still in the fight game and you've been in there for so long, who are some other women that you say we need to keep an eye out for, especially coming from the Central Florida area?
Oh man, there's a whole lot. I like a local that's really good, and she just turned pro recently with Tierra Brown. I think she's a underrated dog for now, but she'll come up here shortly. A lot of people know who she is. Uh, There's a lot of those Mexican fighters that are no joke. Some of those Mexican fighters that I fought. Selena Urbina should do something too. She just fought Marlon Esparza and had her first loss. She's a good one to watch. I'm interested to see how Sinisha Estrada does. She's still undefeated. Uh, there's a lot of names out there that everybody should be paying attention to. Man. There's a lot of good fighters.
Okay.
No, that's dope that you mentioned Tiara Brown. Hopefully, now that you mentioned her name, we'll get a little clout. We can get her on the show. We know that she has a
Yeah.
tremendous story. She's down from Fort Myers, which is where this guy's,
Yep.
partially from, his better half anyway. So we would love to get her on the show. My next question on this is something that's, I know you probably get this a lot. How many, or can you remember the first time in a fight when you really got buzzed, when you were really hurt? And what did you do to recover?
The first time it happened was my first loss, Kenya Enriquez. It was my first fight away. I was 8-0 and all of my 8 fights. Well, I'm sorry, that's a lie. I had one somewhere else, but most of my fights had been here. They were all I pretty much won them pretty convincingly. So the first time I went against Kenya Enriquez, this was the year after Mom passed. She was the first like real deal Mexican fighter I had gone with. And on top of it, she was like unbelievably sharp. She was really skilled. So that was the first time where I got hit, where I was like, where am I? I mean, it really hit me on a totally different kind of meter there. It was a tough one. It was so tough that we brought her in for a sparring camp or a fight camp. Matter of fact,
Wow.
we had to bring her in sometime after that, and she helped me get ready for for another fight.
Wow. Quick question.
She's awesome though. Kenya Enriquez is a great one to keep your eyes on. 23-1 or 21-1, something like that. She's been
Wow.
WBO champion. She's another great one to keep your eye on.
Okay. Now, here's my question: how important is what your trainer says in the corner between rounds? Are you ever able to really take that and go out there and implement what they say, or do you go really back to instinct?
We fight about that all the time. He gets so mad at me. And he asked me this very same question. He's like, "Do you not hear what I'm telling you? Because you're not doing any of it." So yeah, it's in the back of your mind, but a lot of times when you're in there, I mean, you start off thinking about it, or you'll think about it here and there, but it's more of a reaction thing when you're in there. It's life or death. Any kind of mistake, any kind of, so I'll know what he told me to do, but maybe I won't find the opening, or I won't be able to create the opening like he would like to. So that's definitely something I get yelled at a lot of.
Has he
Are
ever
you not
given you some?
listening?
Huh?
Yeah, he'll yell at me, wondering if I'm listening or not.
Has he ever given you any advice and you wanted to look at him and go, "Are you watching the fight?"
Yep,
Okay.
I sure have. I think I may have even said things similar. Like I said, we fight about that all the time.
Wow. Okay, champ. So you've been around the world, New Zealand, Beijing. Think you've been to have you've been to Europe as well before, right? I think you fought, was
I
it in
went to
Italy?
India. I fought in India.
India.
Oh,
We've been to Mexico a few times, 3 times. We fought in Mexico. So all over. It's been the best part of boxing, by the way.
So give us a couple of stories on what it was like. I'm interested to hear what India and what China was like because those two countries don't seem to be as progressive as we like to think they are when it comes to gender, when it comes to women. So give me a little bit of background on what it was like fighting in India and China, if you would.
You can tell that it's that women boxing is still growing over there. I was proud to even be mixed in with those countries because, like you said, it's not like it's making a whole lot of noise. Women's boxing in a place like India or a place like China, it's not really making a big bang, and it's true. It's really really new. So, I mean, I just really felt honored more than anything. I mean, the experience in a place like that is incredible. I don't think there's a whole lot of respect yet out there. I think we have just a little bit more respect here, and you know how much that is. It's still not even a whole lot yet. But hey, at least they're showcasing them a lot. A lot of these promotions are big. The one we fought for in China was a really big stadium. I mean, it got packed. You would see
wow.
maybe like with the magnitude of that place it was probably something similar to an event in Vegas. Like that's how big this event was, and they had women
Wow.
like us on there. I mean, it was an honor. It was a huge honor. You can tell it's growing, but I mean, just to be a part of the early stages is a really great accomplishment on our part.
That's amazing. I was talking to Melissa St. Ville
Yep.
about her trip to, I think it was to Australia, and she was talking about just some of the issues that women incur, like promoters once you get somewhere, not getting paid. Um,
New Zealand. She was
New
talking about
Zealand,
New Zealand. Yep,
yes.
I was there. I was at that same event.
Can you talk
But
about
we
Wow.
that a
were
little bit?
prepaid, by the way. They paid us before we even went in, but
Wow. How was
but
that
yeah,
event?
I remember them going through that. I remember them going through that. I think they were having personal issues with the promotions. Like they were being kind of it seemed anyway. It seemed like they were being I guess so graceful towards the promotions. I'm going to use that word carefully. The
Hmm.
promotion was not feeling so happy with how they were behaving. So I think that had something to do with that, but who knows?
Have you ever run into that though, where your pay came up short, or it was late, or you didn't get paid for a fight you went to?
Never.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Good
never.
riddance.
And I'm thankful to God, but because I know a lot of other girls have different stories and different, events happen to them, but thank God Everybody has always kind of came through on their word, and it's been graceful in my hands, thankfully.
Nice.
Now, I got a question for you that you probably don't get often. Being a mother and being a fighter, and I'm assuming probably being a wife or at the least a fiance or a girlfriend, what is it like for Noemi to balance her relationships while being a fighter?
That's definitely the biggest challenge here, especially because my other half is my trainer.
Ooh.
So
Wow, okay.
we have,
There it is.
yeah, it's real love.
There we
to
have it,
endure
guys. That's the answer. Real love.
to endure what we have, it's definitely, it takes it. I mean, I'm thankful every day it's still around, because it's that much of a challenge. But it goes down to, I guess, how bad do you want it, or how much, do y'all help each other and uplift each other. And I've got a good partner for the most part. We fight like cats and dogs, but we also love each other real hard. So balance.
Got you. Now, what are you looking at as far as exit strategy, or what's your next career after boxing, and when do you think you'll be moving into that?
We have just recently started moving into that. I've just started doing cut work. So there will be fighters whose corners I'm bringing the cut medicine. I'm working on their cuts. I've probably been doing this maybe a year or 2 years now. That way it's, clever exit strategy to still have one foot in the game without being in there,
Hmm.
taking the blows and doing all that. So that's my exit strategy.
And then there'll be a lot of work for that. So yes.
Right, and I love it because it's a way to keep your foot in without being taking the damage or whatnot. It's close to that time, so I'd like to be full blown once I'm ready to hang them up.
Now, we know you have a warrior's heart and a warrior's mentality. That's never been in question. This question is not that you would not fight them, but who is one woman you would never have wanted to step in the ring with?
Oh man, there's a few of them. There's a few of them. Honestly, as much as I love her, and I probably would still fight her for the right amount of money. I mean, I'm just gonna keep it real. If they offer the right amount of money, I'll still fight her. I wouldn't be so crazy about getting in the ring with Tanisha Estrada, just because. I mean, I've been watching her for a long time, and she's different. She's awkward. She switches her stances, left-handed, right-handed. She's got more of that amateur style where she's busy, but she's so, I mean, has so much experience. She's incredibly sharp on top of being awkward. So I wouldn't really want to fight her, because she's the type of fighter that'll make you look real stupid. Like how strong you are, it don't matter. How, all that stuff all the time, it don't matter. It really
Okay, we missed the last part of what you said.
but don't get it twisted. I'll still fight her. They offering that right amount of money.
I got you. Well, we got the Badger here, and we've been trying to get him in the octagon with Amanda Nunez, and he keeps backing down. Can you give him some encouragement that he'd be okay? At least he'd make it out the first round.
Man, look.
Oh, come on.
Thank you. Thank you, champ, for being honest. This man been trying to get my ass beat for about 3 months now. And I don't know what he's up against, bro. I told him what I'm willing to do and what I'm not willing to do. I'm not messing with that woman, bro. Period. So stop
I
trying to make
mean,
that happen,
all
bro.
right. This is what it all boils down to. I'm gonna ask you this: are you gonna make any money off of it?
Yeah.
Okay, well then do it. And if you gotta take a knee, take a knee.
Yeah.
But at least you left. At least you left with a few $1,000s extra in 30 seconds. Throw a
Yes.
few punches, make it exciting, and then take a knee. She catch
Come
you
on.
100, take a knee, and leave with you 10 grand.
And follow what Wesley Snipes said in White Man Can't Jump. Listen to the woman.
That's
Listen,
right.
unfortunately, champ, I try to bring a little integrity to this platform, and I'm afraid that if I have to take a knee, it's gonna be bad. I'm really gonna quit, and I don't want to be known as a quitter. So I'm not. I just rather not. That's all. I'm good.
Don't worry, I work your corner, so I'll throw the towel in for you. You don't have to worry about that.
There you go. You ain't got
See?
no control, and you're $10,000 richer.
See?
That's a nice
I
vacation.
like the way she thinks, man. Come on,
That's
get
a
on the
nice
train.
vacation.
Speaking of
I
Amanda
mean,
Nunes, champ.
I ain't gonna lie. I've gone into a couple fights, even though I know I'm a warrior and I know I'm strong. There's been a couple fights that I signed a contract to where I was like, oh shit.
See? See?
You know, oh well, you gotta give it your
Yeah.
heart. Let everybody see that you tried, and if you die, you die.
If you
No,
die,
no,
you
no.
die.
That's not how this works, me champ. I'm not doing it. Listen, I got another question for you though. Keeping with that warrior mentality, we're starting to see some women, mainly just probably Clarissa Shields, but we're starting to see women try to make those transitions, crossing those boundaries from boxing to MMA and vice versa. We got Paige VanZant that left the UFC. Now she's with Bare Knuckle Boxing, Bare Knuckle FC. I'm sorry. Have you ever thought about getting an octagon, champ?
Yes, for a while I was. I don't anymore, just because I'm not a big fan of getting kicked or doing the kicking. Bare knuckle, the opportunity has been presented a few times, and honestly, I'm a little bit more tempted here and there, especially because it doesn't seem like a lot of those girls have a whole lot of skill. But I have noticed that even when you win those fights, you look like hell. Like even though you won, even though you did really well, like your face.
Yeah,
It's tough.
yeah. The
It's
term
tough,
So
hamburger
champ.
meat applies. Yeah.
although I've been tempted, I mean, like everything else, it boils down to the money. They offer real good
Right.
money. I mean, I'll fight. I might get in there and do the bare knuckle one or two times. I'm not gonna lie to you.
And it's not, and
Well,
they still
hey,
wrap your hands. So I remember the original bare knuckle boxing in the backyards. It was literally bare knuckle.
Yeah.
listen, that quarter inch wrap below the knuckles, that don't mean nothing, bro. I'm with the champ on this. I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do pay well. So hey, bare knuckle, if y'all out there, Kevin, you know what I'm saying? Anybody, champ say she might get in there, man. Y'all cut the
I
check,
might
man.
get
Give her
in
what
there.
she's asking for, man. Make it
I'm
worth her while.
definitely flirting with the idea, especially along with my exit strategy. Like that might be just what I need to like finish me off.
See?
That might be
See?
just what I
See?
need to be like. You know what? I'm done with this. I don't
Yeah.
need no more.
Champ, I know you got to get back to training. One last thing. We have a game we call 5 rounds, 1 punch. Are you willing to play it?
Hell yeah.
Okay. So, so whatever I ask you, you got to say the first thing that comes to your mind. Ready?
All right.
All right. Um. Ooh. Enchiladas or steak and fries?
Ooh. Steak and fries for sure.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I
Um.
know. You
Wow. Okay. Let's see. Since you're from St. Pete, Rays or Bucks?
really I'm gonna go with Bucks just because I like football better than baseball. Baseball is kind of slow for me. So
Yes.
Bucks. I like Bucks. I like the Bucks.
I gotta hand you that one. Okay. All right. All right. Would you rather your daughter remember you for what you've done or for what you've said?
For what I've done, because I believe it means more than what you say.
Okay. What means more, love or respect?
Ooh. I'd have to go with respect on this one. I'd have to go with respect on this one. There
Okay.
can't be love without respect. There can't be no love without respect.
And finally, I had a couple questions floating around in my head, so I had to choose the one that might lead you to come back again in the future. Um, Mayweather, Leonard, or Ali?
All right, I'm gonna go with Ali just because he's an icon, man. He's an icon. Yeah, and Mayweather is also an icon.
We had to give you that one. Appreciate it, champ. Thank you for
Yeah,
playing with us.
anytime,
Next time,
anytime. Thank you so much for having me.
definitely. Hey, best to your trainer and your daughter.
Thank you so much. I'll tell them.
And how can we follow you on social media?
I'm on everything. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, everything at Noemi Bosques. Noemi, and my last name is Bosques, Bosques. Find me, hit me up.
Team No No in the house. Thank you
You
so
know,
much,
no.
champ. Happy New Year.
Peace.
Wow, that was awesome. I'm so glad she gave us that interview, bro.
Yeah, man. Champ doing a thing out there. She got some plans, and you can't beat a woman with a plan.
That's
So
true.
I'm looking forward to see what her future holds for her, man. She's definitely a free spirit though. That's dope.
I like that. You can't beat a woman with a plan, but you can get beaten by a woman with a bat. So, yeah, those are two
That
good.
wasn't Nietzsche. That wasn't Nietzsche. That was Brew, by the way. So just in case I wonder where they came from, that's where it came from.
Those are two good rules to live by. You can't beat a
Hey,
woman with a bad plan, but you can get beaten by a woman with a bat. So keep that in mind. If you come home from work and you've been coming home late for a week and all of a sudden there's a bat by your chair, don't sit down. Sit down. So, shout
trying
out
to
to
tell you,
Noemi
man.
Vasquez for
Yeah, she was dope though, man. She was
yeah,
dope.
man. Yeah.
Hopefully, somebody from Bare Knuckle was watching, man. I think she do well in that, man. I really do.
Yeah. Haven't seen her fight. She has a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
skill, man. She got a lot of
I mean, yeah,
skill.
and listen, she been around. She been around the game for a minute, man. She's not a baby, so she know her way around the ring, the cage, or whatever they putting them in. So yeah, I like it, bro. I
Me
like
too.
it. I hope she gets a shot. I think it's genuine.
That'd be awesome. And the fact that you actually shouted out some people who do it. So hopefully they're listening and we can share it with them. And, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to get her back on after her first bare knuckle fight. I mean, like
Absolutely.
immediately.
But listen, man. It is a sad day. All right. For everybody that lives south of West Palm Beach, dreams crashed and burned yesterday with the Miami Dolphins completely hanging there. They had to win to get in. Buffalo had nothing to win by bludgeoning the Dolphins. They did them a solid favor because they don't like them. And they hung 56 on them. It's a sad day in Miami. We knew this was going to happen when they sat Fitzpatrick. But I set out that to say this. Congratulations to my brother and his Baltimore Ravens for beating the crap out of the Bengals to solidify their seeding in the playoffs. Now it gets real.
It got
Ravens at who in the first round? Who y'all got? Do you know?
no, I
Do you
don't.
know? You don't know? I think the Ravens, wait for it. I think you guys have the hold it.
It's not the Browns. They got the Steelers.
They got the Steelers. I think y'all got the Bills.
No.
The Bills are the 2 seed.
We got the number 6 seed or the number seven
6 or
seed.
5. Y'all 6 or 5. First round's a bye. The Chiefs not playing this week.
Right. They
So I
got
think
they
if
got the
y'all
number 1 seed. The Bills got the two
and
seed.
y'all were the
So the Bills should play number 7, whoever the 7 seed is.
okay, so then y'all play the 3rd seed.
That'll work with me. No. Did Pittsburgh slide the no? Pittsburgh slid the 4.
Pittsburgh is 3. No, Pittsburgh is 3 because they got Cleveland.
They got Cleveland, and so we play. Is Tennessee in there?
That's who y'all might have the Titans or the Colts. One of those y'all because the Titans won the AFC South. So
Yeah.
y'all may have y'all got the Titans. Matter of fact, when they said it, they showed it last night on Twitter, like, yeah, the rekindling of another year of playoff rivalry.
Revenge. Y'all better tackle Derrick
That boy,
Henry.
listen, that boy talking smoke. I'm excited. The Titans look pretty good. Y'all better cover them
Derrick Henry.
receivers. Not even Derrick Henry. Y'all better cover them receivers because y'all gonna have 8 or 9 in the box to try to cover Derrick Henry. Y'all got to win 1-on-1 outside.
We can't
That
have
kid
it in
Corey
the
Davis. That kid Corey Davis is a Pro Bowler. He's killing it right now. Tannehill's been loving him. Y'all got to play solid defense, but boy, y'all got to running backs back. J.K. Dobbins, He looked good yesterday. Lamar looked fast. He looked
Gus,
accurate.
Gus look good.
Yeah, so I like this game, but I don't know who I like to win it. Boy, it's gonna be fun. You're gonna be running
What?
around with your stomach in knots. You're gonna be nervous all the way until the game ends. I know you will be. You don't have to say it, but I know you're gonna be nervous because this is a tough test.
Listen,
Still,
there's one thing you'll never find in Baltimore: a bad crab or fear.
happy people. Oh,
To
okay, yeah.
We are happy. We're happy when we're kicking somebody in the head who fell on the street. So yes, we are happy people. As Tank Davis.
Sunshine, flowers, none of that in Baltimore. You gonna
That's why
find
they
none of
call
that.
it Charm City, baby. It's called Charm
Yeah,
City for a reason. Because
yeah.
we'll take your charm. Anyway,
See,
listen.
they
Shout
still
out
wear
to
charms, by the way.
what'd you say?
They still wear charms.
Shout out to Doug Peterson for tanking. Appreciate you. My dad is
Bruh.
looking for your address, bro, because he's a Giants fan, and he said, I'm going to tank him.
Bro, they hot. They hot. Giants Twitter is hot. I didn't even listen. I didn't even see what happened last night because I passed out. But bro, I was on Twitter. Boy, they tight. They tight.
When he pulled Jalen Hurts at the end of the third quarter,
Oh
and
man,
put
like
him
you
the
saved
third
them
string
stuff.
quarterback, he said, we just want to get a good look at him. What?
Doug Hard. Listen, New York should have paid that money. New York should have paid that money. That money should have been in Doug's account the morning before the game, the morning of the game. He should have checked his receipt on his phone and saw where he got that money from. What's the owner from the Meyer family? From the Mayers, they should have went in and wired that boy's money. They let Dan Snyder beat it to him, and now Dan and listen, and all the complete blunder and buffoonery they went through all off season, and even when the season started, they finna make the playoffs. Dan Snyder's a businessman. It takes money to make money. He paid Doug Peterson. I ain't mad at him, bro, at all.
Listen, here's the sad thing, bro.
That
all
actually
the
probably happened.
all the starters that he sat before the game, they still were in the game. And Doug said, dang, I need this money because they might fire me. And then come to find out, they still didn't fire him. But they fired Doug Marrone.
They did. I am nervous only because it sounds like we're gonna be bringing on Urban Meyer, and I'm not thrilled about that, bro. I'm really not. I don't. I'm just not thrilled about it, but we'll see. But we're gonna get Trevor Lawrence, so there's a silver lining, I guess.
Here's one positive thing about Urban Meyer. Here's why he's been successful everywhere he's been. Because he coaches his coaches the same way Belichick coaches his coaches, the same way Saban coaches his coaches. He gets them in position, he teaches them to be the best coaches they can be, and he lets them coach. So no matter who he brings on, he's able to develop a system that best fits his team, from his coaches down to his players. Hey, I wasn't a Florida Gators fan, but I've always been an Urban Meyer fan, even since back to his days before Utah. I think he was at Miami of
Bowling
Ohio.
Green.
Or Bowling Green.
Bowling Green.
Yeah, so, it is what it is. But, I mean, you can ask Ryan Day. Urban Meyer made him a better coach.
I mean, as long as he don't fake a heart attack in the players meeting, I'm cool.
He won't have to fake one with the Jaguars. If he has one, he gonna have one.
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about it. But what I will say though is, guess what's happening to the NFL football game? It's starting to look like college football. So with that being said, maybe this could be a surprise for us. More NFL teams are getting away from traditional offenses, and they're running more college-based offenses because, I mean, the generation is getting younger, and it works. And these kids aren't learning football the way we learn football, and they're not playing football the way we play football. So out with the old, in with the new, I guess. So I guess we're gonna start with over in Jacksonville. Might as well start over with leadership at the top and the new franchise potential quarterback, hopefully. So yeah, but never mind my team.
I want to go back to the Ravens and the Titans. Everybody's concerned about us stopping their offense. No. Our defense is fabulous. They just need to rest. We need to play ball controlled offense. Let Lamar be Lamar. Let those running backs work interchangeably. Hold on to the ball if you're a receiver. If it hits you in the hands or the stomach or the shoulder pad, you're supposed to catch it. We got all these track stars with stone hands. We need, but thanks to Dez Bryant, get him the ball. What I'm saying is that game is not out of reach if we play as we're supposed to play and don't get behind playing stupid ball. We'll be fine. We have one of the best quarterbacks in the league, bar none. We'll be fine.
Well, I don't know about all that, but if anything y'all do need, y'all already got. Let's build their motivation for what they did to y'all last year. Y'all get a
Yes.
return the favor by going into their house. So forget all the X's and O's. This is a game about pride. This is a game about being the best Ravens team y'all can beat. And if y'all go out and do that, y'all got a chance to beat them, but it won't be easy. But enough about that. Let's talk about the local team. Tampa Bay fans are excited. They're ecstatic. They finished the season 11-5. They improved 4 games on their win-loss record from last year. Everything's right in Tampa. And guess what? The football gods smile at them again because they get the Washington Football Club in the first round. A team that doesn't even appear to even belong in the playoffs. A team with a losing record from a division that was just terrible.
The
I mean,
NFC East.
This division probably should have been a college division, the way they were looking. So everybody in Tampa is happy, they're excited. And guess what? I'm looking forward to the game because now we get to watch a team that basically has been losers for 13 years, not in the playoffs. And the only thing that's better about this team than the team they had last year, aside from all the people they brought in, is this team actually feels like they actually drinking their Kool-Aid. They feel like they're as good as their record indicates. They feel like they got a chance to make it. All they want to do is get in, right? Well, I'm here to tell all you Buck fans, and I wish you well. I hope this happens for you, but I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. The Bucks are 1-5 against teams with a winning record. Their schedule was soft. They all those yards Brady threw for these last 2 games were against JV teams, but you play who's on the schedule. With that being said, y'all got a gift this week coming up against Washington. If y'all can block that front four, which is a big if, a very big if,
Yeah.
that offensive line is not very good. But if they can block that front four, then Tampa has a chance of making it to the next round, where they'll probably meet their unfortunate demise against whoever they play next. But hopefully, Tampa Bay fans, this is what you mortgage your future for playoffs. Because this team, as it stands, is not a Super Bowl caliber team. At least I don't believe. But they got every opportunity to start by proving me wrong on Saturday, or Sunday. So I'm here for it, bro. That's all I got. What else?
I'm excited about it because I'm a big Ron Rivera fan. I'm not a Washington football team fan, but I'm more of a Washington fan than I am a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan. So I wouldn't mind seeing Washington come away with a victory. But at least Brady can tell Bill, I made it to the playoffs this year. Look, there's a team in Texas this year, the first ever School of the Deaf to win a Texas State championship. It was pretty amazing
Wow.
season, right? And they were able to do it, pull it off. And then, how do they call plays? They bang a drum on the sideline, and that's when they know how to snap the ball. And there were referees who were complaining, other teams complaining that it was cheating. I'm like, how is it cheating? You hear the same sound they do, or they feel. So
I was about to say, you lost it there. You banging the drum, and I can't hear it. What? But okay, cool. I'm with you.
because
Whatever.
of the vibration that comes through.
Vibration, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So my thing
Okay.
is, if I'm on the other, side, if I'm in the other stands, as horrible as it is, I'm a uniformly stomp on the on the seats, stomp on the ground, and try to create another vibration, throw them off. That's how I think. But I'm happy that they actually did it. I'm familiar with teams that play with disabilities. Gallaudet University is a team up in Washington, D.C. It's a school of the deaf. And they have a very competitive football team as well. So following this team in Texas, this high school team, it's one of those stories that actually made it to the Today Show, but we should cover more of because it's just a really good thing that's happening. So I give them a shout out for being able to do that. Be the first school in Texas of deaf children to win the state championship. It's hard enough to play football in Texas as it is. But to
Well, I
really,
want to I want to offer a little bit of encouragement and say, man, yeah, for those kids that have those hearing impairments or that are deaf, what have you, man, play football because I'll be the first to tell you, man, you don't really need to hear that much to play football, honestly, because most times stadium, well, not every school, but I've had the privilege of playing in a couple of games where it was so loud that you could hear the person next to you. So it didn't matter if you could hear or not. You were taught to watch the football. D line, go on first movement. Offensive line, you go on a silent count, which is what a lot of schools use because it gets so loud. Not to diminish what they've done at all, but I'm just saying I want more kids to play football that are hearing impaired because you don't really need that. So
well,
please
you
get
you
into it.
say that because you have the option.
I get it for sure,
I
definitely.
mean, and I can equate it to
But
people telling me, "Well, you play D tackle or offensive tackle or guard. You can see the guy in front of you. Vision isn't a big deal." And I'm like, because you have the option. But I agree with you. I love the fact, and you know what? I think we should support the Florida School for the Blind's archery team. We need to get behind them, literally.
see what I'm talking about? See? And y'all think I'm the problem. But this is the kind of stuff he says all the time. And because he laughs and looks happy about it and looks jolly, y'all just dismiss it as, oh, no, this is what he does. This is who he really is. So next time y'all get in the comments and talk about me, no, this is him.
Oh,
This is him.
that was funny. Yeah, hey, I'm telling you, I went to the School for the Blind over in Daytona right after I graduated high school. I went there for one summer. The Division of Blind Services, they have a camp over there that you have to qualify for their scholarship. I was a fish out of water. That's when I realized just how much my parents helped me by not treating me like I was blind. But some kids really needed it. But they would, like, it's a nonprofit, so businesses would give you stuff. Like they gave us free blockbuster rental videos. And I'm like, really? But what got me is when they gave us the free mini golf. Now you got all these
Okay.
blind people standing there with metal clubs and golf balls, no sound to them, but golf balls, and mini golf. Fortunately, nobody could bring a guide dog out there because there'd be some messed up dogs, and it was crazy. It really was. I'm not making this stuff up. We got free go-kart rides. It looked like bumper cars on a NASCAR track, but it happened. It happened. I'm not making this up. I really wish I was, but it really happened. The skydiving lessons were too much, but boy, you hear a dog scream at 20,000 feet. Anyways, shout out to everybody who joined in and watched the show today. Shout out to our guest today, Noemi No BOSQUES. And good luck with your future endeavors, and hopefully bare knuckle boxing is one. You made it this far and you still have a nice face. I don't know if bare knuckles really what you want to get into, but you say you found your significant other, so as long as he's with it, make sure you keep him. Don't have your face turn into hamburger meat and y'all break up and you in the club talking about, I'm a fighter. Just trying to tell you, trying to look out for you. I don't want nothing to happen to you. Keep your teeth. Go ahead, bro.
See what happens? This man just gave, you know what, don't you worry about it. Listen, shout out to everybody in Financial Nation for rocking with us, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in with us today. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time with more of this guy acting up. Holiday season's over with, but I will say this. Tap in with your loved ones. Let them know you care about them. It's real out here. This thing is not as sweet as it looks. So make sure y'all do that. We will see y'all tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad place. We out here. Peace.